Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to continue today with the tank. We're going to get it scraped up, all the paint removed, and then we'll get it in the sandblaster. So let's get this cleaned up and bring it onto the sandblaster. Okay guys, I've got it in the blasting cabinet, cleaned it up pretty good. I did it with the die grinder. I took out as much as I could. The rest, the media will take care of. So let's turn this cabinet on and let's get it sandblasted. And we'll take a look at it and see how it looks. Okay guys, so we've got it out of the blasting cabinet. Tank's looking really good. Valve cover's looking good. Valve cover was brand new, so we just gave it a light dusting. And the shroud actually came out pretty good. Not bad. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean these parts, and then we're going to get the powder coating set up and get ready for some powder. So we've got tank, valve cover, and shroud ready to go. I got them tied. We're going to get them in the oven and gas them out first, and then we'll get ready to powder. So let's get them in the oven. So guys, they've hit temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull them out, let them cool off, and we'll get powder coating them. So give me a few seconds just to get them out. We'll let them cool off, and then we'll spray them. So okay guys, I'm just letting the pieces cool off. So we ran this powder at 400 Fahrenheit. For 10 minutes. We made sure the pieces got to 400 Fahrenheit and then let it cure for 10. Then we're just letting it cool off, but they're looking pretty good. So once they cool off, we'll take them out of the oven, and then I'll give you guys a closer look. So guys, I got it out of the oven. Figure I give you guys a closer look. She came out amazing. So we removed all the tape off the intake and the exhaust and the shaft. The motor looks pretty good. I took out the old spark plug, which is over here. Okay, so I had put that in before we painted the motor. So now we're going to install our kit beside this motor over. So the kit consists of the new flywheel. I guess that's our starter pack and starter. What we're going to do is take this out and compare it to the old one and make sure that the key and everything is going to work out okay. There is also a charging coil that's going to be put into this, so we'll have to get that mounted. When you guys are doing stuff like this, especially anything that's underneath the flywheel, most definitely suggest using Loctite. You know, don't go crazy over torquing things, but make sure they're nice and snug and use some Loctite. So let me open this stuff up and then we'll take a look at it and then see where we go from there. Alright, so we've got a new back plate for there. Okay, we've got some new some bolts. That's our charging coil. And that is our flywheel. Let's take a look at our starter. Starter looks pretty good. Solenoid. All right, that's that. Get rid of those keys for now. Okay. So let's see what we got in here. Okay, so this is just our starter pack. Keys go in there. throw this stuff out. And let's go grab the old flywheel and see comparison. So what I'm looking for is the lining up of the key. This way the timing is not going to be off. But our advance won't be off. Let's grab the old one. Yeah, they look to be pretty well the same. Yeah, that's good. They are. Okay, perfect. We'll get rid of this old one and we'll start with this. So guys, we're going to do the charging coil, and that's going to go right over here. Okay. Now you'll notice that there's in the back of this charging coil, you'll see a little divot. Okay. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Okay, that's got to go against the block. Okay, and that'll hold it in place tight while you put your M6 bolts in. Okay. You want to put a little bit of Loctite on that, but let's get that mounted. And I'll videotape it while I mount it, and then I'll show you where I'm going to run the wire. Okay guys, so you can see I've got that in nice and snug. We'll get the starter mounted now and see how that's going to line up, and then we'll get that flywheel on. We're going to have to put the key back in, or the key actually is still in here, which is good. So let's get this starter mounted, and then we'll take it from there. So guys, the flywheel's in, and we tapped it in. So we're gonna put the cooling fans on. Now the cooling fans have little nibs on the back side of them, and they go right in here, okay? And you also can see the cutout, so they should fit perfectly, okay? And then your cup here has a little divot that goes right in there, okay, like so, and then your bolt. And then, if I'm not mistaken, this is torqued down to 55 pounds. So you want to hold on to the flywheel and torque her down to 55 pounds. So let's tighten that up, and then I'll get the torque wrench out and we'll torque that down. So guys, the flywheel's in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna install the coil. So I've got the screws here. We're gonna take those out. We're gonna use the old business card trick and put them underneath for spacing, for gapping. And then we'll put some Loctite on those and torque them in. So let's get to it. So guys, we've got the coil pack in, mounted. Wires ran through the back to underneath the actual starter motor. So what we're not gonna do is put the cover on, because what we wanna do now is finish up the valves. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take off this head, because we just put it on there while we painted the motor. And of course we have the new one. But what we wanna do is take apart the valves, clean them. I know I had seated them already, but we'll put them back together and make sure that we're on the compression stroke. And I'll show you how I do that. And then we'll set the valves, the clearances for the valves. So let's get this off, and then we'll do that. Okay guys, so I've got those back in. Unfortunately, I can't find my feeler gauges, but I did get the specs. So it's 0.008 to 0.006 for the intake side, and exhaust side is 8. You can do +1 or -1 on either one, so you can do 5 and 7 will work also. But for now, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna have to find them, but we'll put the cover on for now and get it all covered up, and then continue with the build. We'll put this on now, but we won't torque it down. Put the like so. Just hand tighten it for now, guys. There we go. That's looking pretty sharp. Okay, so let's get the carb in. Okay guys, so we've got some new rods for the carb. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to get that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those rods in there. We're going to add a little bit of Loctite on these, okay, and just so they don't vibrate, and then we'll get them in there. I'm not using the red Loctite, I'm using the blue for this, just easier, just to give it a little extra security, but not to be difficult to remove completely if we need to. So let's get this in there, and we'll go from there. So we're using a 2-bolt method. So we got the first bolt in, then we'll put the other one on top, and when I got the ratchet, I'm just grabbing the first bolt and just torquing it a bit. Okay, and then we'll remove that. There we go. And we'll remove this one. Just get a little bit of that Loctite off there. And we'll do the same thing for the other one. Loctite, not a lot. Start it off with our hand. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll start threading this one on. There we go. And I should be able to take that off. There we go. Okay. So this card came with a new holder. We're going to put a gasket on it, like so. You guys can see that. And we're going to slide that on. Just careful you don't break the gasket. It's going to go on like so. And then this one is going to go on like so. There you go. All right, so let's get this one on there. Like so. Oh. Put that one on there, like so. Okay, so. That goes on like so. And we're going to be adding this choke lever. Let's take that off for a second. Okay guys, so we've got that set up there. So this is going to be for our new intake. What we're going to do is, this is actually going to be for the choke. It's going to hold the choke down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in. There's a screw back here. Don't over tighten it because you won't be able to move it, and then we can always tighten it up later. But that should slide in like so. All right. And we should be good. Now this is going to go here. Here we don't need any Loctite. These will actually have locking threads on them. And we'll just tighten those up. And this, I'm not mistaken, is just like that. Okay. Let's take this off again. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Torque those down, boys. And we're good. Now we can always tighten that, and we should be good there. What do we need for that? There we go. That's tightened up. Perfect. Okay. So this, if I'm not mistaken, will come through exhaust and through here, and like so, and then this pops on. This is, if I'm not mistaken, is the gas tank. There we go. All right, so let's get our filter on. Get that on. Goes on just like that, guys. There we go. Okay guys, so we're gonna add the throttle into, or reinstall the throttle. This is actually a new one. The other one was in really rough shape, so I really didn't bother trying to clean it. These throttles are really inexpensive. So I think it was, I don't know, $8 or $9. Really not worth the time and the effort to change or try to refinish the other one. So we'll put a little bit of Loctite. I got that one in there for now. I just want to see if these actually fit properly. loosen this one up a second. Let's see, take this off for a sec. Thumbs up. Where is my tap? Clean up that drill just a bit. And a little bit of paint on it. What we'll do with these is we're going to add small lock washer to them. Washer on there. Okay. We'll get the two lock washers and two small washers. Just in case there's vibration. So lock washer, and then the lock washer, and then I did a washer on top. That one goes like so. So let's see if we can actually get it to line up now. There we go. And we'll do the same on that side. Lock washer. And I'll tighten that up. Work out perfect. Let's tighten this up. Looking good. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, that's going underneath there to the tank. All right, so that's in. All right, so. Okay guys, the gas tank's installed. Remember, this is the piece that we fixed and worked out beautifully. Tank fit just great. So what we're gonna do now is we'll get the shroud put in, the front portion of the motor with the pulley, but she's looking pretty sweet. So let's get that on there and let's see how she looks. So guys, we've got that front on. She's all mounted on. She's looking really good, guys. So we'll install the pulley in a minute, but we're gonna come over here now, where we're gonna install our exhaust. So that's our gasket, and that's what the exhaust is gonna look like. She's looking pretty hot. Okay, so let's get this mounted and we'll take a look. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is just get the Allen key in there and we'll torque her up. Oops, okay. Get it nice and snug for now, and then I'll give it a good torque in. So guys, I'm just gonna put this camera down for a minute and finish tightening these up, and then I'll give you a good look at the engine. So guys, I ended up getting some feeler gauges. Couldn't find the other ones. So we're gonna take this cover off now, valve cover, and adjust the valves. I'm gonna show you how. The noise that you got hearing in the background is my tumbler. I got some bolts that I'm getting cleaned up. Well, let me take this out of its packaging and we'll take that out. We got to take the spark plug out. Now I have the spark plug in there, but it's just very loose. Take that out. Put that there. We'll take these out. These are just hand tightened. I'll explain to you exactly how I'm going to do it. So we got to get the piston to be in the actual power stroke, or in between the power stroke, top dead center. So when you're putting on a new head, your best bet is to take out the jam nuts, like I'm going to, like so, and just tighten those up, not too tight, but just snug. Not too tight. That one seems to be pretty tight. Hold on, let's see. I'm not quite sure why that's that tight. So we'll loosen that up just a tad. All right. Okay, so that's intake, and this is exhaust, okay? So I said before that was 0. I have it written down here. So it was intake was 0.006, and exhaust was 0.008. Now plus or minus 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little tighter. A little closer. I'm going to go 5 on the intake and 7 on the exhaust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this, and we're going to watch, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you're going to watch the pistons open, or the valves open, and now they're going to close, open, and close. And now we're going to go again, and we're going to keep an eye on the piston. Open, and close, and then we should be able to get it up. Top dead center is right there. Now these should be pretty, let's try to get these a little snug. Okay, so let's try that again. Open, close, open, close. And now they both came up. So now I am top dead center. So what I'm doing is looking into the spark plug hole, and I can see the top of the piston. And these both should have a little bit of play, and they do. Okay, so we're good. So now we have to adjust our, so if you want, you can actually put a spark plug or a screwdriver in there, but there's a sweet spot and you'll feel it. Okay, so let's get all the feeler gauges here, and we need to find 0.005. Got it. And that's intake side. So we're going to loosen this up, and we're going to put that in, and we just want to get a little bit of drag. A little too tight. That's good drag right there. Okay. We get the jam nut. I'm going to put it in. Just going to keep trying, make sure you got a little bit of drag. A little bit of drag. A little bit of drag, which is good. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to add my wrench to the bottom, hold it tight, and then we're going to torque these. Oh, I have 0.7. Okay, we're good. All right, so we're going to loosen that up. Tighten that up a little bit. And a little bit of drag. Put the lock nut in. A little bit of drag, which is good. And back this off just a touch. And give it a nice torque. Okay, so we're a little too tight. Just gonna back that off just. Oop. A little too much. That's pretty good. Loosen that up for a second. Okay, we're going to tighten that up now, guys. It should be perfect. Torque them up. Okay. Just going to give this just a bit of happy with that. So we're gonna loosen that up again. All right, let's try that again. We're good. All right, guys, those are set. So let's give this a little bit of a twist. Open, close, open, close. We're looking good. We're looking really good. That's perfect. Okay, so we got to get valve cover back on. So let's get this on here, and we'll get her on. Tighten that up by hand. Where's my wrench? Okay. Got the gasket on there. There we go. Give them a little torque. Okay, she's good. All right. So we're gonna get our plug in. The gapping on the plug was done and it was good. Just like that. A little bit of a torque. It's good. There we go. That's it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up my mess a bit, and then we're gonna get into doing the throttle linkage. Make sure it's working good. We're gonna put the pull start back on, and then we're gonna do some wiring. So let me clean up my mess, guys, and then we'll get on to that. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna take the intake off. Well, just the filter anyway. So we're gonna put that there for now. And right now I got the carb wide open. And we're gonna just go close it. Wide open, closed. Wide open, closed. And we got choke, open and closed. Okay, so that's open. Open and close. Full throttle, closed. Let me just double check. Okay, so we're good there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this off. What are we at? No, if I'm not mistaken, it is, I thought it was an 8mm, I guess not. So let's see what we got. Washer. We're just going to lightly move that out of the way. Oh, and go grab that. All right. That's definitely need to go back on there. Okay, so what we got to try to figure out here is the size and how this linkage is actually going to work. So, if I'm not mistaken, you can barely see in there. The carb should have a slot in it. Okay, let's not lose these things here. Alright. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I kind of need to see where I'm at here. Should be a hole. Problem is I can't see. Need a flashlight. All right. So we're having a hard time seeing it. Our best bet is to loosen this off. Like so. You guys see that? I'm not sure if you can. Hold on. I'll move that. So what I've done is loosened off the intake. I'm just gonna slide the carb out so I can see what I'm doing. And there's the hole I was talking about. So this hole actually goes in, which is kind of strange, but let's double check. Let's get a needle nose. Let's take off the exhaust, gas line. Bye, baby girl, be careful. So that, my friends, goes in like that and like that. So if you can see here, there's a slot, and that goes in like that and slides over, and that can go right back on. Okay, so before we mount this back on, we're going to double check and see how long we need. So throttle position is here. That's the open. And that's closed. Let's just double check something here. So if that's open, that's closed, that's open. So that's closed, that's open. Okay, so this thing's way too long. All right, so if that's way too long, we're gonna have to cut it, and we're gonna have to figure that out. So let's put this back together for a second. So that goes on here. This goes back on here like this. This so guys, I shortened this linkage. Let me show you, this is the piece I made. So I bent this portion, but that's how long this linkage was. Okay, so we basically made this one. So this one is actually going to go up and under. I'm going to see if I can switch hands here. So it's going to go up in here. Let's see if we can see that. Like so. And it's going to go into the carb. I'm going to hold the carb and I should throttle. Pull. Okay, so it's touching there a bit, so we're gonna have to bend that. All right, not good. So guys, there it is. Clears it beautifully. Done. So let's get the intake back on, tightened up, gaskets, and the throttle. This is your throttle cable. And that's your throttle pinch for your line, and that'll pull this back. We can loosen this once we have that on there, and we're good. So let's tighten this up and put it together. And then we'll get the pulley back on, and then we'll move to some wiring. So guys, the breather vent is in with the cap. I think it's looking just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mount our pulley, and then we'll get to doing some wiring. Okay guys, I've got the bolts for this thing. Let's put her in place. No, we want that to be right about there. We can, I wonder if we can move it up a little bit more. All right, put it just like that. Just leave that there for a second. We will put just a drop of blue Loctite on that. Oops, dropped my coffee. Okay, I'll do this by hand. Put it on there. Snug it in for a sec. There we go. It'll lock tight. Put it on here. Okay, and there's one at the bottom. There we go, nice and snug. There we go. All right, so that's all in. So we did adjust the valves, did the throttle linkage, and we put that pulley back in. Let's see if she goes okay. Good compression. Okay, so we're going to clean up our bench, and we'll go grab a battery and get it on a charger, and then we'll get the wiring set up, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. What I'll do is I'm going to keep this piece of paper on the bench here, and I'm going to run with a black magic marker, and I'll write down some diagrams for you guys so you can follow along and how we're actually going to do it. But let me clean up the bench first, and then things are getting a little carried away, and then we'll get to the wiring portion. Okay guys, so hang in there for a minute. So guys, all we have left now is the electrical to do on this build. This video is getting a little long, and if you guys have watched to this point, I really do appreciate it. We're going to do one more episode on this build with all the electrical, and of course get this thing running. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow.